Let's dive into the first of the three dimensions of value, the systemic dimension. This is the realm of ideas, mental constructs like expectations, rules, ideals, strategies, social norms, and goals. Life is full of systemic things, and when we imagine, judge, or decide, we're engaging in systemic thinking. Systemic thinking is binary. We see things as right or wrong, black or white, perfect or non-existent. Take a geometric circle. If it doesn't meet the precise definition of a circle, it's not a bad circle. It simply isn't a circle. We use this same mode of thinking when we label people or situations. If something doesn't match our mental model of how it should be, we judge it as wrong. If someone acts a certain way, we might label them as if that's who and what they are. In the systemic dimension, our perception is our reality. That's the trap of systemic misvaluation. When systemic thinking dominates, we tend to cling to our ideas and hold our perceptions and opinions as if they're the truth, the only truth. We can easily lose our openness to others, to collaboration, and to learning. Ask yourself, have you ever had a right-wrong argument that hurt a relationship? Do you get upset when things don't go your way? Do words like should, must, always, or never dominate your thinking? Have you been called perfectionistic, reactive, or controlling? These are all signs that certain systemic constructs may be dominating your thinking. Join the crowd. You are not alone. Does that mean the systemic dimension is bad? Not at all. Actually, systemic things and systemic thinking are incredibly important and valuable when used appropriately. Every innovation starts with an idea. Every plan, policy, and goal begins in the systemic realm. Clear standards set norms for society to function. When we understand how a system works, we can improve it or fix broken parts without throwing the whole thing away. The key is to remember that the systemic dimension is just one of the three dimensions of value, and it's the one that adds the least value to human life, especially when used in isolation or as our most dominant way of thinking at the expense of the other value dimensions. While a brilliant idea without execution has very little value, a bad idea coupled with execution can lead to disaster. Dr. Robert Hartman saw this firsthand. After witnessing how the systemic ideals of the Nazi regime led to horrifying outcomes, he asked, "Could we build a system rooted in goodness that elevates rather than destroys human value and society?" Answering that question became his life's mission. As much as systemic errors of judgment and valuation can create division and conflict, mastering the systemic dimension can lead to powerful partnerships with unity of purpose, capitalizing on diversity and worthy opportunities, and generating immeasurable value across all dimensions of value. When we develop a healthy capacity within the systemic dimension, we gain clarity, structure, and focus. We learn to understand complexity, see new possibilities, build better systems, and ask better questions. Still, it's just the starting point. Real value isn't produced by abstract concepts and ideas alone. It's produced by our actions, how we use our resources, and how things actually function and contribute in the real world. That's where the next dimension comes in, the extrinsic dimension. Here, value is measured not by ideals, but by effectiveness and usefulness. It's less about what something is supposed to be and more about what it actually does and how well it does it. The extrinsic dimension is where the ideas and concepts from the systemic dimension come to life. And that's where we go next.